I run an Etsy shop for now 1 year and 4 months selling digital products on Etsy, and I document every month how much I make. On Etsy, you can have a look at the different videos from the first month now up till the 14th month, 15th month. So you can look at all the videos to get the details about the numbers, but I actually have never really talked about the expenses I have for running my Etsy shop. So in today's video, I want to do exactly that. And in this video, I want to talk about expenses such as the Etsy fees I'm paying, subscriptions I have, design tools, for example, and I have quite a few subscriptions in general, which I walk you through what they are and how much I pay. And then I give you a little bit of an overview at the end to see actually how many costs I have for Etsy. And to be honest, I've never done that before in real life until I came up with the idea for this video, which is a bit odd, but I, kind of took it for granted that I just need to have some tools and subscriptions to run my Etsy business, and now I actually have the numbers to run against, how much I actually make on Etsy and how much I spend running the Etsy business. So it was also a little bit of a surprise for me to see all the numbers. Okay, before we dive into all the numbers, I actually finally finished my ebook about Etsy for beginners. I'm so excited about it, and you can get it now on my website for a reduced price. So I wanted to give an introduction price for the first people who buy my ebook, and therefore check out the website. In the description is the link, you can find the link. And in this ebook you really find everything you need to know about Etsy. And the good thing is that you also have workbook pages you can fill in, so you can take immediate action while you are reading this book. And I'm really excited about it, and obviously I hope that it will be super useful for you. The link is in the description down below. Okay, subscribe to my channel and let's get started. So the first costs I want to talk about are the Etsy fees, and they are obviously not a big surprise, but I never really calculated, how much they are in general, like monthly. And so I just want you to be aware of these fees, so you really know what's deducted from the actual price when you sell your digital product. So there are actually 3 main fees you have to actually pay on Etsy, so you don't really have a choice about it. And the first one are Etsy listings fees, and you probably have heard about them. It's 20 cents per listing. So when you create a listing and publish it for the first time, you will get a notification that you have to pay 20 cents. But that is not all. This listing will renew every 4 months. If it doesn't sell at all, it will renew every 4 months, and then you have to pay 20 cents again, which doesn't sound too much, but you also pay it every time you sell an item. You pay 20 cents. And that is something I didn't realize at the very beginning when I started Etsy, that it doesn't just renew every 4 months, you actually pay it every time you sell a digital product or any other product, or even a physical product. So to give you an example, let's say you have 10 items in your shop and you basically pay $2 for it. If you don't sell them, they get renewed after 4 months, and then you pay another $2. And now I calculated that a little bit like for my listings. So if I'm not mistaken, I pay around $150 per year, which is $12.50 per month for 250 listings, which just renew after 4 months. So this is just a calculation if they renew without selling. So obviously I pay much more every time I sell a digital product, but this is just, if I wouldn't sell any products. So yeah, maybe it doesn't sound that much, but I just looked at it and it was like, this is $12.50. It's like a proper subscription, Like normally I would think twice if I would sign up to a subscription which costs $12.50. But yeah, then another fee on Etsy is transaction fees, and that's 6.5% fee taken from the total order amount. So as an example again, if you have a $20 sale, then Etsy takes about $1.30 in fees. And last but not least, the fees you also have to pay are payment processing fees, and that varies a little bit in your country. So typically, I think in the US, it's 3% plus $0.25 per order. And an example would be, again, on a $20 order, you would pay $0.85 or 85 cents. Then you also have Etsy ads, which are optional, so you don't have to turn them on. But I run Etsy ads and I really just do the minimum most of the time, which is $1 per day, and that is $30 per month. So this is the first kind of bulk of fees or costs you have when you run an Etsy shop. Let's have a look at the next one, and these are design tools. And obviously it really depends like what kind of design tools you're using and what kind of products you create. I personally create printables, PDFs, and therefore I use Canva. I have to say though, I really love Canva, and I feel it's definitely worth signing up for it, and I'm also signed up for the pro version. You can even use it for free. Of course, you have some limits. I definitely use the pro features, you know, so for me it really makes sense to be signed up and pay for it. I think I have like a yearly annual kind of subscription, which is around $131, which is a little bit of an odd number because I actually still pay it in pounds, 99.99 pounds. I signed up for Canva back when I used to live in the UK, in London, and I haven't really changed it. And I was thinking when I made this video, I have to look into it and see if I can change it a little bit, because it might be actually $10 cheaper. But for this video, it is $139, and that would be $10.90 per month. So this is the only design tool I use really, but yeah, it's definitely worth it, and you can do lots more things with it. I mean, I use it for my thumbnails, I use it for presentations, I use it for a lot of things in my private and in my business life. And then subscriptions, I have other subscriptions, not only Canva, which is obviously a subscription as well. But yeah, I have, for example, a tool called PDF Filler, and that is really for filling my PDFs. So when people download it, they can fill it in on their computer. Of course, you can do that also when you have Acrobat Reader or Adobe Acrobat in general. You can fill in, you can do it manually or automatically yourself, but not everyone has that. And I do not have that myself because I find it actually quite expensive. So Adobe Acrobat actually costs $19.99 per month. Yeah, and that is quite expensive for me. I found basically a cheaper version with PDF Filler, and I pay $159 per year, which is $13.25 per month. So a little bit cheaper, you know, but it really does the job for me. And it's again a little bit of an odd number because I pay it actually in euros. And then I also have another subscription for the mock-ups I use for, you know, the listing images on Etsy. So although it's digital products, I like to, you know, put my PDFs in a nice setting, simple things like laptops or mobile phones, tablets, computers, and sometimes every now and then I have a lifestyle image as well. So I use Placeit for it, and I pay $89.69 per year or $7.47 per month. And I still find it quite useful for me. Obviously, I use it all the time when I put up a new. I didn't mention at the beginning that also analytic tools are actually quite important when you start on Etsy or when you run an Etsy business. So at the moment, I don't really pay for anything because I was very lucky to have a collaboration with a few analytics tools, and in order for me to really try them out and everything, I can use them for free. But I did pay for eRank for, you know, at least a year when I started out. I mean, a year is already quite long. And yeah, I paid $5.99 per month for eRank, and I really found it super helpful. I think you can definitely do your research without any tools. It's definitely possible with Etsy itself, and maybe there are even some free versions out there, or for eRank you have limited research possibility as well as the other analytics tools. So normally you can do a little bit of research, but it's very limited. And for me, I just wanted to really do research kind of all the time and check things. And so it was super useful. It's still useful because I'm using them on a regular basis. So that is something you should factor in as well if you are, you know, taking your Etsy business seriously. And I haven't really factored in any labor cost because, you know, it's really hard to do that, but that is not the main reason. I feel like you create an Etsy listing, a digital product, and it takes you X amount of time. But the wonderful thing is that it works a little bit like compound interest. So once you put it there on Etsy, then people start buying it and buying it and buying it, you know, so, and then there is no open end on how much you can actually make. So here on the screen, I put a little bit of an overview about all the expense categories, the monthly costs and the annual costs. And obviously this is quite specific for me, but it gives you a really good overview of what you maybe can expect. And I was a little bit surprised to see that I spent $75 every month without E-Rank, or even $80 with E-Rank, and then yearly that would mean I almost spent $1,000 on Etsy. And you know, when I look at this, I would say it is quite a lot. Especially depends obviously how much you make on Etsy. I do think that all these tools are very important for me to run my business. And obviously the more you make, the better you feel about it and you have no problem to pay for it. And for me also personally, I have my own business. So this number is basically my business expense. But yeah, this is an overview of the expenses you can expect on Etsy. So what do you think about the costs? Let me know in the comments down below. And I hope this video was helpful for you. I will see you in my next video. Bye!